I want to thank our reader for the great reading, and Karen Drucker and our music team for the great music to support the message. And this month of July, our theme is creative expression. And our talk for the day is healing through creativity. As the reading suggested, we often create and then criticize our creations. I know I often do that, and I also know that it's gotten easier as I've gotten older to just accept that this is a creative process and just let it be as it is. Let it be good enough, in my opinion. So do you judge your own creations, even though you know that you are a child of the divine who is the great creator? While you ponder that question, here's your question for the week from me. What is the one choice you might make today to know that you can heal through creativity, to expand your concept of creation, and to find joy in your creative times? One more time. What is the one choice you might make today to know you can heal through creativity, to expand your concept of creation, and to find joy in your creative times? Let's begin by examining our topic today, healing through creativity. And I want to start with this bold idea. You were created to create. You're not here to replicate or to conform or to be perfect. You're here to create you, to co-create with spirit, to express, to explore, and to heal that which needs to be healed. With God as our creator, each of us is made in that image. And it follows in my logical mind that therefore we're creators too. Katherine Economou wrote this: "The soul yearns not for perfection, but for expression. Healing begins the moment we allow what's within us to take shape in the world." The moment we allow what was in us to take shape in the world. And that shape can be anything. It can be a poem, a garden, a dance, a song, a new idea, or even a better version of who we are. Or how about a better version of how we love? A Course in Miracles taught us the creative power of the Son of God is unlimited, but we can limit the expression of his creativity by misunderstanding what it is for. Misunderstanding what the creative power of God was for. Creativity is indeed a holy act, something that comes forth from within us, and it's meant to extend love, not fear. And in extending love, we do indeed help the world heal. On this 4th of July weekend, where we're talking so much and hearing so much about freedom and how free we are, especially in this country, I think it's important for us to look at why we need to help heal the world. Creativity connects us to our wholeness. It bypasses logic and touches our essence. It allows our emotions to move, to not stagnate. And it returns us to the present moment. Now that was a lot, so let's look at each one of those statements separately. beginning with creativity connects us to our wholeness. I know that when I'm creating, I feel the Spirit of God within me, and certainly feel it far more connected with my being. There's something about creating something that just has me feeling joyful inside. Creativity indeed dissolves the illusion that we're broken or separate. When we create, whether it's through art or movement or writing or singing or problem solving, we're reconnecting with something deeper than our wounds or our limitations. Wholeness is not the absence of pain, it's the presence of all of who we are, integrated and honored. Creativity allows us to reclaim those parts that we've hidden, we've silenced, or we've judged. Every brushstroke, every poem, every song, every dance becomes a gesture of reunion with ourselves. I know that when I sing and dance around the house, I feel fabulous. Try it. It actually works. Ernest Holmes said, "There is a divine wholeness at the center of everything." There is a divine wholeness at the center of everything. Believe that, and believe there is a divine wholeness at your center. And when we create from that center, we return to the truth that we are already whole, perfect, and complete. The second statement I made was that creativity bypasses logic and touches our essence. How do you feel when you're in your creative space? Truly, I know I'm not in my logical mind. I'm in that space that is the essence of who I am, that I feel free and unlimited and creative. The mind often tries to explain or to justify or to control pain. But creativity invites us into that realm of healing, into that realm of feeling, of intuition and spirit. Creativity can access what language cannot. For example, painting a storm might express inner chaos better than any conversation you might ever have. Dancing grief may release it in ways analysis never could. Singing a spontaneous tune can unlock joy that logic had buried. My mama used to tell me she could tell by the way I was playing the piano what kind of day I had had. So I guess I was using the piano and music to be creative. And I'm quite fortunate that I was allowed to learn to play. Creative acts often lead to those aha moments. They don't come from the head. They rise up from the soul, especially when we're allowing that creativity to show up. Lao Tzu told us, "The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao." Creativity reaches towards the unspeakable, and it touches it. The third statement I made was that creativity allows emotions to move rather than stagnate. Emotions are energy in motion. When they get stuck and unexpressed, they can become anxiety or depression, physical pain, spiritual numbness. Creativity opens that channel. Think of it like unclogging a river. art, music, writing, singing, movement, they all give the emotional energy somewhere to go. You don't need to understand it all. You just need to let it flow, to let it happen, to let God create through you. A painting may carry anger, and a poem may make you weep. A song may hold your longing. And apparently the keys on my piano held the opportunity for me to move through whatever was happening in my day. Buddha taught us, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal. You are the one who gets burned. Creativity lets us set that hot coal down safely and with grace. And the fourth statement I made was that creativity returns us to the present moment. Creativity grounds us in the now. Healing only happens in the now, not in regret of the past or envy or worry about the future. When you're deeply engaged in a creative act, time seems to just disappear. Have you ever noticed that? You're not obsessing about the past or planning your next move for the future. You're present with the color, with the sound, with the word, with the breath. And this presence is healing in itself. In the now, we meet spirit. And in the now, that's where we're free, which is what this weekend is all about. A Course in Miracles says, now is the closest approximation of eternity that this world offers. I love that quote. I love it because it tells me that creativity can become the doorway into that eternal now. Every time we engage creatively, we invite the sacred into our healing journey. Not to fix it, but to reveal that we were never broken to begin with. I want to repeat that sentence. Every time we engage creativity, we invite the sacred into our healing journey. Not to fix it, but to reveal that we were never broken to begin with. There's a story about this woman who was painting, and she didn't start painting until her 60s. She wasn't painting for money or for fame, but she was painting because her heart was broken. Her husband had passed away, and her children no longer lived with her, and she felt invisible. She began to paint flowers, not just any flowers, but wild, unruly, color-drenched blooms. And as her canvas grew, so did she. Friends began to visit her, not to comfort her, but to watch her enjoy emerging through each brushstroke she made. She finally told her friends, I don't know if my grief is gone, but I know it's no longer the only thing in the room. Yogananda would have called this transmutation of emotion into devotion. Do you have a limited concept of creativity or what it means to really be creative? I know mine was limited for years to art. I knew I couldn't paint, I knew I couldn't draw, and so I labeled myself as not creative. And yet now I know there are so many forms of creativity. I often quote Ernest Holmes as saying, "Life is a mirror, and we reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it." And as individuals, we each see something different in that mirror of life. And when we create from our inner truth, we literally reframe the mirror. We see our pain differently. We rewrite our story. And in doing so, we're often able to release it. As Lao Tzu reminds us, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. That's one of my favorite quotes. Creating is letting go. Healing is remembering who we've always been. Love, light, joy, hope, freedom. I know for myself that I had to let go of my limited belief of what creativity really was so that I might become more creative. You don't have to paint like Picasso to be creative. You create when you cook a great meal and you do it with love. You create when you solve a problem with compassion. And you create when you speak truth in your own way. Buddha taught us, what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. Now, don't go saying, yeah, right, like that's going to happen. What I imagine I can create. I love that quote for so many reasons. I know when I imagine things, even if I'm not the one to physically create it, that I know people that can. I know people I can join with, and others who might have the skills to help me create and not give up on my creative thought. We're always creating. Our internal world, our relationships, our beliefs. The question is, are we creating from fear or from healing? From fear or from love? When we create from fear, we get more fear. But when we create from love and from healing, we get more love and more healing. There are several spiritual practices which invite creativity and also invite healing. And I thought I'd share a few with you. The first one is daily doodles. Spend 5 minutes each day drawing, not for beauty, but for truth. Just allow the pen to move. Let it say what your words can't. And another one is healing sound. Sing, hum, chant. Let your voice carry energy through your body. The vibration itself heals. Loving to sing, I know that this one always works for me. It's impossible for me to sing and be sad. So the next time you're sad, try singing a happy tune. See if it doesn't change your mood. Another spiritual practice is what I call write to your wound. Take a pen and write a letter from your wounded self to your healed self, and then respond. And yet another spiritual practice is nature mandala. Go outside, gather leaves and stones and flowers, and create a sacred circle with them. Then bless it and let it return to the earth. Another creative practice is creative healing circle. So this one you need to have someone work with you. On a sheet of paper with markers, draw or write about an image or phrase that represents a moment you felt most alive. And then share this image with someone you trust or a group that you trust. And listen, reflect on, and honor their comments. I was having a conversation last week with a prayer partner about healing using journals. It's a technique that I've used many times in my life, and I've actually suggested it to many people in my life to get them out of sadness and into living more with joy. The practice is called Love Journal Creation. It involves getting a journal and using it for a specific purpose. It might be any of a number of things. Journaling about your love for who you are, especially if you've had difficulty loving yourself. Journaling to a loved one who is no longer in your life. You know, we all have people that aren't in our life, and it not always is because of death. Sometimes there's a separation for some reason. And it's amazing how putting your feelings into a journal about that situation can do a great deal to heal the hurt. And if it happens to be an estrangement from somebody in your family or somebody that you cared about, think about the gift you have to give them when all of that love that you poured out into that journal is available to them once you're reconnected. You have been sending them love throughout the days, and they can notice that. And it'll make your reconnection even stronger. And because sometimes laughter is the most creative and healing act that we can do, here are a couple jokes for you. Why did the artist break up with the healer? They had different strokes for different folks. Well, try this one. I tried painting my feelings the other day. Turns out my anxiety looks a lot like a Jack Pollock painting or that of a kindergartner. Seriously, with regards to healing through creativity, the bottom line is that we're creative beings and we can find joy in creating if we make a conscious effort not to be critical of what we create. We are the artist of our days because we create what we do, what we say, what we think, how we react. You know, in the Bible, Jesus told us in John 10:10, I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. And he wasn't talking just about financial abundance. This abundance includes your voice, your gift, your creativity. And another quote of Katherine Economou's that I really love, to heal is not to fix. It is to bring color back to the soul's canvas. Ooh, wow. I love that healing brings color back to my soul's canvas. And Ernest Holmes reminds us, the divine plan is one of freedom, joy, and the creative urge. You don't have to be perfect to heal. You need to be present to this moment, to this now, and willing to pick up that paintbrush, that pen, that instrument of your soul, and just begin. And so in summary, in 2025, how might you find healing through creativity? I suggest you allow creativity to be expressed. Remember, the soul doesn't yearn for perfection. Quit all of that judging. Allow your creativity to touch your essence. Dig deep. And know that creativity invites the sacred into your healing journey. Expand your concept of what creation means. It's not just about being a Picasso. It's expressing you fully. Again, don't judge those creations. Love them. And find joy in creating. Create from love and healing, not from fear. Consider a love journal or some other spiritual practice. Heal to bring that color back to your soul's canvas. So here's your affirmation for the week. How is it I so willingly, energetically, and effortlessly know I can heal through my creativity? I can expand my concept of creation, and I can find joy in my creative times. So your challenge for this week is do something creative and force yourself not to judge it, just to allow it to happen. Commit to using one of the spiritual practices that enhance your creativity so you might heal and find that joy in life. You can use ones I suggest or ones that you create yourself. Let's pray. Begin by taking a deep breath, closing your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and just allowing yourself to find that why and that purpose, and to truly live with all of your creativity expressed. So we ask ourselves again, how is it I so easily am open to healing through creativity? Knowing that we can embrace that value and create in so many ways through our art, through our music, through our song, through our dance, through whatever is your medium for creating. And we can be transformed by that creation. Divine Spirit, what I know to be the truth for each of us is that you have provided us with something today that we heard that's helping us to live our wholeness, to live our creativity, and to be healed so that the rest of our lives are the best of our lives. I see each of us being that embodiment of divine love. We live in peace. We live calm. We are grateful for our freedoms. We know that our steps are guided with wisdom, and we fill our days with gentleness and compassion. We are rooted in peace and lifted by love. And we choose to live in the divine alignment of the truth of our being, that we are children of the divine and co-creators. I am grateful that you chose to spend some time with us today. Grateful we can go forth today with joy, courage, an open heart, knowing that we are guided along our healing journey, and that all that we do is absolutely the best we can do. And it's from that gratitude that I release my word into that divine yes, knowing the truth, that the yes has been said, so I can say amen, and we can affirm it together. And so it is. Thank you to all of you that continue to support us. Continue to know that this community is worth having available to many, many people that are around the globe watching it, actually. I am so grateful for your contributions. Have a great rest of your 4th of July weekend, and be free. Enjoy our offertory song.